Aaliyah Washington Parker had spent weeks preparing the perfect surprise for her husband, David Parker, CEO of Parker Tech Solutions. It was their 10th anniversary, and she'd arranged a quiet dinner with family photos, candles, and a simple bouquet, her way of honoring the love that had outlasted boardrooms and battles. She stepped into the sleek glass lobby of Parker Tech, dressed in soft ivory, holding a single rose and a folder marked private dinner reservation. The receptionist smiled warmly, but before she could reach the elevators, a sharp voice sliced through the air. "Ma'am, employees enter from the side door," said Rebecca Stone, head of human resources. Her tone carried that familiar cold authority of someone used to being obeyed. "I'm not an employee," Aaliyah replied gently. "I'm here to see my husband." Rebecca's eyes narrowed, scanning her up and down. "And your husband is?" "David Parker." Rebecca gave a thin, skeptical smile. "Our CEO, right, and I'm Beyoncé." The nearby interns snickered. Aaliyah held her composure. "If you'll check the visitor log, you'll see my name." But Rebecca didn't check. Instead, she called security. Moments later, two guards appeared. The lobby fell silent except for the sound of phones being raised, recording. "You'll have to leave, ma'am," one guard said awkwardly. "I'm not leaving," Aaliyah said softly but firmly. "I have every right to be here." Rebecca stepped closer. "You people always think rules don't apply to you. Now leave before I have you escorted." And then, without warning, Rebecca threw water from her glass, splashing Aaliyah's blouse and the rose in her hand. Gas echoed. Cameras kept rolling. Just then, the elevator chimed. David Parker stepped out, phone in hand, mid-call with the board member, until he saw his wife, drenched and humiliated, surrounded by security. The CEO's face hardened. "Aaliyah?" Her voice broke slightly. "I was just coming to surprise you." David's gaze shifted to Rebecca. "Did you touch my wife?" Rebecca faltered. "Sir, I didn't know." She claimed, "You threw water at her." "Sir, she said she was my wife," David finished, his voice sharp as glass. "And you just assaulted her in my building." Phones recorded every word. He turned to the staff. "Everyone stay exactly where you are. This company is about to learn what accountability looks like." The entire lobby went silent, except for the steady hum of 1,000 notifications, because the live stream had already begun. 2 hours later, the building buzzed with reporters outside and protests forming below Parker Tech's glass tower. Inside the executive conference room, the air was heavy, not with noise, but with consequence. David Parker sat at the head of the 12-foot mahogany table, his laptop glowing with cascading notifications. Beside him sat Alita, wearing his spare dress shirt over her water-stained blouse. Across from them, Lisa Park, General Counsel, James Rivera, VP of Operations, Michael Torres, CFO. Lisa broke the silence first. "We've got a serious situation," she said, scanning her tablet. "We're facing potential class action lawsuits from 731 rejected candidates. At an average settlement of $75,000 per case, that's roughly $55 million in exposure." Michael looked grim. "Stocks down 12% in the last hour. Investors are panicking." David leaned back, jaw tight. "All because we called discrimination efficiency." Aaliyah opened her folder, revealing graphs and data. Marcus Williams, MIT grad, 3.9 GPA, internships at Google and Facebook, rejected for being too assertive. Lisa frowned. "That's textbook discrimination. Asking about diversity initiatives isn't aggression, it's ambition." James, pale and defensive, spoke up. Her metrics looked good. Quick hiring turnaround, reduced costs. Because she filtered out talent before you ever saw it, Aaliyah cut in. Every department kept asking for diverse candidates. HR never sent them. Lisa scrolled through her notes. This isn't just negligence, it's a legal minefield. We're looking at systemic bias. Michael pointed to a chart on the wall screen. Added up. 55 million in settlements, 15 million in legal fees, 200 million lost in market cap. The numbers hung in the air like a storm. Then Lisa's tone shifted. And there's more. The Department of Justice called 20 minutes ago. They're opening a civil rights investigation. The room fell dead silent. James muttered, "That means federal hearings, media scrutiny, and possible criminal charges." David closed his laptop slowly. So this isn't a PR crisis anymore. It's a civil rights case. Aaliyah's calm voice broke the silence. And it's not just us. I found similar discrimination patterns at other major tech firms. Technova, Digital Dynamics, Innovate Corp. This isn't one company's problem. It's an industry-wide disease. Lisa's eyes widened. Are you saying this was coordinated? No, but it was taught. At HR conferences, leadership seminars, they called it efficient screening. They built bias into the system. Outside, chants from protesters echoed faintly through the windows. Justice for Aaliyah! And corporate racism! David looked at the crowd, then at his team. He said quietly, "We have two choices. We can defend what's broken or rebuild what's right." Evening draped itself over the city, but inside Parker Tech, the lights stayed bright, a symbol of reckoning. The conference room was quieter now. Only David and Aaliyah remained, reviewing statements and internal reports. The world outside was already reacting. News anchors said things like, "Parker Tech faces racial bias scandal." Hashtags like Parker Tech Truth and Justice for Aaliyah trended worldwide. But inside, something else was shifting, something deeper. Aaliyah, her voice steady but worn, said, "When I first joined, I thought fairness was built into the system. I thought if I worked hard enough, the doors would open." She looked down, eyes heavy. But they only open for certain people. And when we question it, we're labeled difficult. David's silence was thoughtful, not defensive. I built this company to create opportunity, but I never asked who opportunity was for. Aaliyah gave a faint smile. Then ask it now. A few floors below, the communications department was in overdrive. PR drafts covered desks. One read, "We take these allegations seriously. We are committed to inclusion. We're reviewing our practices." David crossed out the words. "This isn't a review. It's a reckoning," he said. "No corporate language, no half-truths. We speak with ownership." He called a company-wide meeting for 8 p.m., in person and live-streamed. By 8 p.m., more than 9,000 employees logged in. David stepped up to the podium, not in a suit, but in a plain gray shirt. Aaliyah stood beside him. "Good evening," he began. "Today we learn truths about our company that are painful. Truths that expose who we've been, not who we claim to be." He paused, then continued. "Discrimination happened here. It happened under our name, and it destroyed trust. That is our responsibility to fix." The chat flooded with messages: shock, support, anger, gratitude. David turned to Aaliyah. And it started because one woman refused to stay silent. He stepped aside. Aaliyah faced the camera. Her voice was calm but resonant.
I didn't come forward to destroy this company. I came forward to heal it because silence protects systems, not people. Her words hit deeper than any press release could. She went on, I want to see a company where no one's name, accent, or hairstyle determines their worth, where potential isn't filtered by prejudice, where fairness isn't a slogan, it's practice. Applause erupted across chat windows, screens filled with clapping emojis, tears, and messages of thanks. David stepped back to the mic. Starting tonight, Parker Tech will form a new ethical accountability board, led by independent members, not by executives. Aaliyah will chair it. The announcement landed like thunder. Even Aaliyah's eyes widened.